everyone. This is Janine from Unleashed Joy, and today is my slightly belated video on Chapter 1 of Jack Canfield's Success Principles. I have been ill. I've had a bad head cold, and I've got some tea and took a decongestant, and I figure I have two choices here. I can sit around and be miserable, or I can motivate myself. So here I am, being motivated, or at least faking motivation, because really I just want to go to bed. But I did want to talk to you about this. I promised that I would, so here I am, even though I am a day or two late. And I apologize for that. It's a hard lesson learned. I am just starting out with this YouTube channel, and so I have this policy with my children that I don't make promises, but I do make a lot of surprises. So if I plan to take them to the movies, I don't tell them. I just surprise them later. That way, if something happens between now and movie time, I don't have to disappoint my children, and that's important to me. I don't want to disappoint them. So here I am with this YouTube channel and realizing that I have promised a video. I promised to release it on Monday, and that just didn't happen. I became sick, and that was really too bad, and so I did not upload the video, and I really regret that. I regret having made a promise that I didn't keep, a promise to you. So I will refrain from that in the future, but I do want to let you know that we are going to continue this little book club review thing with Chapter 2 here in a few days. So please come back and look for it. But here we go with Chapter 1 of the Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Chapter 1 is titled Take 100% Responsibility for Your Life. This is probably the most challenging principle from his book, which I assume is why he put it as Chapter 1. That allows us to read it and mull it over continually while we are reading the rest of the book. And for me, the first time I read this book, which was many years ago, it was a challenge for me. The idea that I had to take responsibility for my life was difficult. Now, when I first read the words, I thought, oh yeah, I do that. But then when I really read the rest of the chapter and really absorbed what that meant, I realized that I often don't take responsibility for my life, or at least I didn't at that time. Now, my husband is a fantastic partner, and one of the reasons we work so well together is because he has the ability to really root out excuses for what they are. He knows when you're giving an excuse for something, and which, let me tell you, any reason that you have for not doing something is an excuse. And so my husband can say, oh, that's just an excuse, and he'll remind me that I'm trying to convince myself that it's okay that I didn't do this thing that I wanted to do or said I was going to do. And so I really love having him there to point that out to me so that I can learn and grow and recognize my own excuses. We all have that. We all have those troubles. And I'll tell you a story. The other day I was on Pinterest, and I saw a pin that was about easy ways to keep your home clean. And I thought, well, I could always use a little bit more of that. Just like everybody else, I have a busy home, busy family, lots of kids, and it gets messy, and I'm running around picking up after people, and I'd love to have more tips. So, and I'm terrible at organization, even though I really like to be organized. Maintaining the organization isn't really my strong suit. So I decided to read this blog post, and it was a lot of easy tips, about 6 tips that were very helpful, and a lot of which I was already doing. I enjoyed the article, but I decided to read the comments as well, and a few of them were the usual, thank you for this post, this is great, I really like what you had to say here. But then there was this one woman, and her response was, I'd really like to do the things that you've written in your article, but I can't because my husband won't help me keep the house clean. He's not helping me pick up. And I thought about that for a long time, and I thought that my first response was that it was just an excuse, that this woman had a messy house, and she blamed her husband for the messy house. That was my first reaction. And then I thought, I've done that before. I've gotten upset at my little ones or my teenagers or even my husband when they, brought clutter in or set something on the table or on the island in the kitchen because it's a flat surface. It collects junk, and just left it there for me to figure out what to do with it. And I realized that she's no different from me. If I want my home to be clean, I have got to clean it. It's my responsibility because it's something that I desire for my home. If my husband wanted my home to be clean, he would be cleaning it. If that's what he wanted. If he wanted the island to be beautiful with just a bouquet of flowers on it, he wouldn't dump his keys on there or whatever, It would be more important to him, but it isn't. It's something that is mostly important to me. So if I get frustrated with the people in my family because they are not helping, I'm just removing that responsibility for myself. I read recently in this great blog, which I can't remember the name of right now. I think it's the Art of Gentlemanliness or something like that. It was a man's blog, but it's really well written. And if I can remember the name of it, I might post a link after the video. But the Lost Art of Gentlemanliness, something like that. Anyway, he was writing about taking responsibility for your life as a man, and he talked about cognitive dissonance, and which of course contributes. And if you're not familiar with cognitive dissonance, basically it's just when you feel uncomfortable because your way of thinking is challenged. So I'll give you an example of that. When you sit down and your house is messy and you get upset because your house is messy, the uncomfortable feeling you have is cognitive dissonance. But you fix that when you say, I've been sick for 2 days and that's why my house is a mess. So you come up with this excuse for why your home is a mess, and it fixes all those uncomfortable feelings. And no one likes cognitive dissonance. We don't like to feel uncomfortable. We don't like to be challenged or attacked or accused. So we immediately come up with reasons for why we are living the life we are. Even, criminals do it. They commit a murder. They have a reason why they had to do that. They deny it completely. And these are ways of self-preservation for not having to feel those uncomfortable feelings of I did something wrong. Children do it, and adults do it. Good people do it, and bad people do it. It's just something that we all do. So the key to taking responsibility for your life is recognizing I feel uncomfortable because I've made a mistake. I feel uncomfortable because I said something stupid that resulted in someone's hurt feelings, even if I didn't mean to hurt their feelings. I feel uncomfortable. This is cognitive dissonance, I feel uncomfortable because my home is a mess, and I don't really want to get up off my rear and clean it, but it should be done. My family deserves better. These are uncomfortable feelings, and just recognize that you have them, and then take responsibility for them. The house is a mess because I haven't done anything for 2 days. The dishes didn't get done because I didn't remind the teenager to help out and contribute, or because I haven't really trained her to work harder or to take pride in her work, or I haven't picking up the slack when she had to go to honor choir, or I just didn't do it myself. And you take responsibility, own up. And let me tell you, it feels so much better than cognitive dissonance. It really does. But we don't know that because we're trying so hard to avoid the cognitive dissonance that we make all of these excuses, and we have no idea how good it feels to just say, I'm sorry, I really shouldn't have said that. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, but it really was a poor choice of words. And then all of a sudden you feel better, but you work so hard to come up with an excuse, or say something like, oh, I didn't mean to offend you. You shouldn't be so sensitive. You put it on someone else so it's not your fault. And you don't realize how much better it feels to just take responsibility. And Jack knows this. Jack knows that not only does it feel better to take responsibility for your own actions, but it's the only way to move forward in your life, to escape a poverty mindset, or to break free from the rat race, or to develop a positive relationship with some other person, or to, have a marriage that is worthwhile. You have to own up to your own mistakes. You have to be strong enough to understand that you have erred, and to admit that you have made a mistake, and then to change your behavior. Changing our behavior for the better. For some of us it's easy, and for some of us it's hard, and but whenever we make a mistake, we all experience this cognitive dissonance, this uncomfortable feeling, and recognizing that the first thing your brain is going to do is to try to fix that, and the fastest way to do that is with an excuse. You stop your brain right away and say, nope, this time I'm going to take responsibility. I'm just going to own up to it. I'm going to own it. And I'm going to get up and clean the living room and vacuum, or I'm going to apologize, or I'm going to do something special for my husband because I've been feeling a little distant. Whatever it is, those actions that you take are freeing, they are powerful, and they are a real step in the right direction for you if you are looking to live a better life, looking to be happier and more fulfilled, looking to absorb and reflect a prosperous mindset, and to change your wavelength so that it is just more joyful and all around better. Anyway, that is for me the whole gist of the first chapter of Jack Canfield's book. I would really like to know what your opinions on it are. Something recently that I found on Pinterest, and I'm looking at my iPad here, I've got Pinterest up. It's this wonderful picture of Theodore Roosevelt, and it's a quote from him, and it says, if you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. Well, that's certainly true for me. I don't know if it is for you. But thankfully, I don't have to have a sore tush. Instead, I can just own up to my mistakes, take responsibility for everything I've done, the good and the bad, and move forward. And it's a real powerful action to do that. Anyway, I wish you all of the best of luck. Can't wait to talk to you about Chapter 2. I've got some other books in mind that we can go through together. So, and if you've got a book that you're reading right now that's absolutely fabulous, that is on the lines of prosperity or joyfulness or being happy, overcoming depression naturally, law of attraction, anything like that, please let me know. You can comment on the video or comment on my blog or something like that, and maybe we can discuss it on the videos. I'd love it. If you have a video channel, do a video response to this one. That'd be great. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, love you guys. You're powerful people. Bye-bye.